To make this video short, I was just out for a midnight walk, 2 a.m. walk. It was beautiful, but I'm a bit emotional right now, so I'm going to keep this short. INFJs need vulnerability in a relationship. They need to know that the person that they're pouring into is willing to be emotionally vulnerable to them. For us, it's not a want, it is a need. We need to have intimate emotional connection with people, whether you're male or female, it does not matter. We need it. Now, when I say vulnerability, I'm not talking about a constant dependence on others where you just like can't handle anything by yourself, and there's always something to cry about, or there's always drama, or something else is always wrong, and you need advice on this and that, and what do you think about this, and why don't you compliment me more, and you need us to boost your self-esteem. That's not what I mean by vulnerable. When I say vulnerable, I'm talking one of my friends, for example, she will never give me a full hug, ever. I think it's been 5 years and I've not gotten a hug from her. And that devastates me. Her love language, she scored a 9 on it, is physical touch. And yet, she, basically what that tells me is she doesn't trust me and she's not vulnerable enough with me to allow herself to be vulnerable. INFJs are caretakers at heart. We love to care for people. For us, it's when we love someone, or we really deeply care about someone, it's like watering a plant. For us, that's kind of how we see people. We see them as someone who we want to tend to. We want to tend to the leaves. We want to make sure that the color's vibrant. That basically that whole analogy. And when she puts up that wall of physical touch, go away from me, then what that's doing to me is that's depriving me of my needs. So I'm trying to give, and then she puts up a barrier, and it's like a one-way electric cord. Electricity is going into the wall, but not coming back out, or it's going into the circuit, but it's not coming out of the circuit. So what that does is it utterly destroys an INFJ emotionally. It makes us hard-hearted, it makes us angry, frustrated, we don't know why, sometimes. And it makes us want to shut ourselves in, and it makes us hate the world. This is not a want, it is a need. INFJs need vulnerability in a relationship. If you can't be vulnerable with your INFJ, then you are damaging them. You are damaging your relationship. And you need to go have a talk with them if you've been doing this. If you know someone, you know an INFJ, you are an INFJ, you know what I'm talking about, or you're dating one, and you have not allowed yourself to be vulnerable with them, you need to go have a talk. And if they'll say, no, it's fine, they just want to avoid conflict and don't want to upset you, you need to go have a talk with your INFJ, and you need to make sure that they feel like they are getting what they need out of the relationship, whether it's dating, whether it's marriage, or whether it's a deep personal friendship. If you can't be vulnerable with your INFJ friend, they are very, very quickly going to feel like they are not getting anything out of the relationship, and they will abandon it. INFJs abandon relationships because of a lack of authenticity from the other person. They don't receive the authenticity. We want to know that you can trust us with your hearts. We want to know that we have the privilege and honor of making sure that we take care of it in a specific moment. To us, that is the ultimate form of affection. We already know whenever you're putting up walls and being antisocial or whatever, fill in the blank. All right, whenever you're not being vulnerable with us, we can tell. And what that tells us is the relationship is at a standstill. It's not going any further, and that's not fair to us. Because if anything, INFJs are one of the personality types that generally pour and pour and pour and pour until we're dead, and then we pour the rest of our blood into a relationship, sometimes physically paining ourselves, whether that's through headaches or whether a lot of times it's through crying and tears. Now we pour and pour and give into friendships and relationships and other people, and for us to not get back a small fragment of what we give to you is the same as slapping us in the face and turning your back to us, or spitting in our direction. And you might say, I've done nothing wrong, but the analogy still stands. As far as we're concerned, You've dissed us and taken us for granted, and that is not fair to us. We have needs. It is not a want, it is a need. And if you know an INFJ and you've treated them this way, you need to go to them. You need to say, I'm sorry, I was an idiot. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't even know what you needed, and I completely destroyed you, and I'm sorry. Please forgive me. You need to go to them, and you need to let them know you screwed up, because you screwed up. You may not have had a personal friendship with them over a long period of time. It may have been an acquaintance, but us INFJs deserve to be healed and happy too. And that means being able to receive the vulnerability in that apology. Be authentic. Be real. Be upfront. Don't beat around the bush. Don't make excuses. Acknowledge your mistake and say, I'm sorry. And I guarantee you're going to get and it's okay. INFJs are very forgiving people. We understand people make mistakes. We understand why people make their mistakes, usually before they do. I shouldn't say usually, sometimes before they do, depending on how intuitive the INFJ is and how knowledgeable they are about why people, psychology and why people do things they do, and how noticeable they are about people's patterns. But the point is, if an INFJ has been wronged, we have a right to be healed and happy too. And if you're the person who hurt us, and out of pure selfish pride, I'm not going to go apologize to that person. Who do you think I am? Apologize, not me. Don't do that. Don't do it. If you know an INFJ and you've treated them this way, you go repent to them. Change your mind, change your actions, change the way you've been thinking, change the things you've been doing if you're still in contact with them. Make an effort to show that make restitution, show that you're sorry, and let us receive what we've given to you.